What is going on, guys? RonMan coming back at you, and today I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the Nintendo Switch Online expansion debacle that people keep talking about. I just kind of wanted to throw my 2 cents in there. Also, if you're new here and you like my crappy content, please make sure to hit both the like and subscribe buttons, as well as that bell notification so you stay up to date with RonMan Gaming. Okay, so before we get started, I'm just going to quickly mention that anytime I talk about money or currency, I'm referring to Canadian currency. So with that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on. So Nintendo has come under a little bit of heat lately, and it's for the Nintendo Online expansion, okay? So basically, for an extra $40 a year, you can get access to the Nintendo 64, the Sega Genesis libraries, well, a small portion of the catalog at least, as well as some Animal Crossing DLC. Okay, so it seems like a lot of people are upset over the price. So if you have the base Nintendo Switch Online, it's $25 a year, and you get to play online with your friends. You get to use like cloud saves. You get to use the mobile app, which nobody does because it's a piece of garbage, as well as kind of a Netflix style NES and Super NES catalog. You don't have access to every game, but you have access to quite a few games, and they're always adding more games. Now that is what you get for $25 a year. And at first, I kind of just thought that, like, you know, before the news came out, I kind of just assumed that Nintendo would eventually just add a Nintendo 64 as a part of the $25 a year. So I was a little surprised that it was going to be an expansion. And I'm also a little surprised with how much the expansion is. So for an extra $40 a year, you get some N64 games, some Sega Genesis games, and some DLC for Animal Crossing. Overall, is this a good deal? Is it a good deal? I'll talk about why it's not a good deal. I'll talk about why it might be a good deal for you, and then I'll just kind of throw my opinion in at the very end. Okay, so when it comes to this 40 extra dollars, I mean, that's more than double of the, like, for $25 a year. You get quite a lot of stuff, and then for, you know, an extra 40, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's a good enough bang for your buck, or in this case, a good enough bang for your many bucks. Because I guess here's the thing, like, if you love N64 and you love Sega Genesis and you love Animal Crossing and you're not a collector, this might not be a bad deal for you. But like, what if you're not into Animal Crossing? Like, what if you only like N64 or Genesis? Or what if you only like 2 of the 3 or 1 of the 3? This is not going to seem like it's a great deal. And how about the performance? I've heard a lot of people complain about the input lag, and I know that it's an issue, and that is actually the reason that I would never play these. I can't handle input lag. I can't do it. Like, I have the Super NES Classic, and I never play it because the input lag. I can't do it. It's garbage. It's not how I want to play my games, and that's why in my videos I play everything with original hardware, and I know my gameplay footage isn't the best, but I can't play with input lag. It's just suddenly not fun for me anymore. So yeah, the performance is a big issue. You know, you're paying a lot of money for crappier versions of these games. Do they look nice? Well, there's been some issues over that too. A lot of people don't think that Zelda looks quite as nice, but you know, you're paying a lot more for crappier versions of these games overall. And another thing too, what if you already own like Super Mario 3D All-Stars and the Sega Genesis collection that you can buy for Switch? I mean, you can buy that physically separately, and it has like 50 games on it. Whereas this online, as of right now, let's take a look. I'm just looking up. There's like 14 games for the Genesis. I know that they will add more eventually at some point, and that's great, but same with the N64. There are, what, 9 games? Kind of doesn't seem like the best deal. Now, again, I know that they plan to add more games, but right now it really doesn't seem like a good value for your money. Okay, so what about the good? Why might you want to get this? Well, one good thing is that you have all these games all in one place. Like, what if you love Super Nintendo? You might love NES, you might love the 64 and the Genesis, and hey, maybe you're a huge Animal Crossing fan. Maybe you're not a collector. In which case I would say, yeah, go for it. You have all these games all in one little place. You can play them on the go. You know, and in some games also, this is another benefit. This is, I think, probably the biggest benefit that I see, is that some games have online functionality. Games that don't normally have online functionality have it, like Mario Kart 64. Like, you can play that online with your friends. That is pretty cool. I don't care to do that, but that is pretty cool. The Nintendo Switch Online with the expansion is $63.99 here in Canada, and you know, that's a lot of money, but if you think about it, that's only like just over $5 a month. So it's not so bad. I mean, a lot of people spend like more than $5 on their triple shot vanilla latte from Starbucks a day, you know, so this is just a little, you know, just over $5 per month. It's actually not too bad all in all. Like, let's just say you didn't have a Nintendo 64 or a Sega Genesis or any of this stuff. To go out and buy the console along with all the games, it can be really expensive. I mean, I'm in the collecting community and the prices are outrageous. So this isn't a bad way to have these games, but another thing that kind of sucks is that you don't own the games. You just have the permission to play them for a year at a time. But if you look at this through the collecting lens, I mean, how many times do you play one game over and over again? Like, I play games somewhat frequently, the same games somewhat frequently, but like, how often are you actually going to play like Ocarina of Time? Like in a year, are you going to play it more than once? Well, maybe some people would, in which case, I mean, if you're going to play one game a whole bunch, then I would say just get a 64, hook it up to a CRT, get a cartridge, and just play it that way. So yeah, I don't know, I can see why people are upset, and I think for the most part I agree with them, but I can also see some good in this console as well. But overall, where do I sit? Well, thankfully, this Nintendo Switch Online expansion doesn't affect me at all because it's not meant for me. I'm a retro game collector and gamer, so having this doesn't bother me in the slightest. At first, I thought that they were just going to add the Nintendo 64 to the existing subscription for $25 a year. And if they had given it to me for free, I still wouldn't have downloaded it. I still wouldn't have downloaded the Sega Genesis. And I don't like Animal Crossing. And there's a whole, I talked a little bit about it in my Switch collection video. I'm done with Animal Crossing. I played it for about a month when it had come out. But I don't think I'll ever play an Animal Crossing game ever again. I'm done with it. So this DLC, I really don't give a fuck about. And I will never want to play an N64 game or Sega Genesis game anywhere else besides an actual N64 or Sega Genesis. So this collection it really isn't for a guy like me, but it could be for someone like you. I do agree that this does seem like a bit of a steep price tag for how little you get. I mean, for $25 a year, I kind of felt like you got a lot. You know, you got to play online with your friends, you got the cloud saves, and you got the NES and SNES, but just for 3 extra things, it seems a little pricey, and especially if like one or two of those 3 things you're not interested in. Like, if I were interested in it, I'd be interested in the N64 and the Sega Genesis, not the Animal Crossing. So yeah, I don't know, kind of seems weird. I kind of wish they would just do a virtual console, but again, not for me, for you. But you know, overall $5 a month isn't too bad, but yeah, I can see why people are pissed. Thankfully, it doesn't affect me at all. I'm always going to play N64 on this TV here, so anyway, that's my 2 cents on this issue. Yeah, it seems like a bit of a ripoff, but it might be good for you as well. I could never do it. I don't like input lag, and I like original hardware, so I'm thankful that I'm in the position that I'm in, but you know, I do feel for the people who really want to play these games, but you know, don't want to pay that $65 a year. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to hit them buttons, and I will see you next time.